Frankly Horse Racing, and we're going to go over the 2025 Bluegrass Stakes, which of course is now on Tuesday the 8th instead of Saturday with all the rain they've had down south. Pretty bad videos I saw from Oak Lawn all the way through the south, so I'm kind of surprised. Today is Monday. I'm surprised they're actually going to get, I believe it's the Ben Ali on the turf, but that's about it. Otherwise, they're going to get too torn up. So hopefully things hold off. We're going to give a quick rundown about the Bluegrass Stakes, and then we will make our predictions. We did pretty good in our predictions over the weekend with the Wood and the Santa Anita Derby. We were pretty much dead on. The Santa Anita Derby, I was slow pace, and then if it runs as a normal race or a little bit quicker pace, who I predicted, and and it kind of showed out that way. Front end pressure, and we'll talk about that maybe in another video. But then journalism just looks fantastic at this moment. But today we're talking about the Bluegrass Stakes. So we don't know if there's going to be any scratches. It's a short field. We're going to go with what we see right now. As you can see that we've got the different individuals that are part of it. I pulled this straight from the Kentucky Derby website. So you've got your entries right here, jockey, owner, trainer, and what the current odds are. So let's give a quick rundown with the horses. Number 1 is River Thames. River Thames ran a pretty darn good race at Gulfstream. After I re-looked at it, I felt a lot better about that race for him. I believe maybe he moved a smidge early, but that third quarter was pretty quick, all in all, via the time form pace numbers. So I think he ran a very strong race for going that long. The run-up was so long, it wasn't just a mile 16th. It was clearly longer than that, and it really set up for Sovereignty to win that race. So I really think he ran a good race. Keeneland normally is very front end positive racetrack, if you want to put it that way. So he's going to be sitting in a nice slot. I don't think he has to be shot out on the pure lead, and I think with the other speed in this race, they might just put him behind the speed. If East Avenue actually breaks, we'll talk about that. Then I think the race sets up differently for him and Owen Almighty just a little bit. But I think number-wise, River Thames really has improved. His first race was a darn solid number at Gulfstream Park. And his next one, he came down a little bit number-wise, even though he won, which is expected. He just won his maiden. And then they put him in against Sovereignty, and he ran a very solid race there. And the third place horse came back. I liked him a lot for a possible exact in the Florida Derby, and darn near got there with that. So I think River Thames is definitely a player. He's got IRAD, and of course the trainer is Todd Pletcher. He's only got 3 starts, but times are different than back when I really started getting into this stuff. You just don't get a lot of base put in these horses and more races in most of them. Let's go to number 2, which is River Judgment. River Judgment, to me, is a horse that is on the improve, but a big step down. To me, I'm not going to talk too much about it. His best number came from Colonial Downs, and I think Colonial Downs through the years always has inflated numbers. That field wasn't very good. I did like the winner a lot. Matter of fact, I think I bet him the race before that, and he didn't run so well, but he ran great that day. But that's the only race that he actually popped a number that would have been competitive in this field, and I think it's inflated because of Colonial. So if he wins, then Frank loses today, or excuse me, tomorrow. Burnham Square, the number 3 horse, will be ridden now by Brian Hernandez Jr., who won last year in the Kentucky Derby with Mystic Dan on a pretty daring ride, bouncing off another horse in the rail. I don't think this will hurt him at all. I think Brian is, when he's got horse, is a pretty good jockey and puts him in the right position and is not afraid to make a move when he has to. Burnham Square was really improving. Every single race he improved number-wise. So I actually liked him quite a bit with Sovereignty going into the last race. And he just he didn't look right the whole way around. If you rewatch that race, it just didn't look great. But he never quit, and he was coming on at the end. So I would say, Burnham Square's got a great shot, and his best number is absolutely competitive with River Thames. So I think Burnham Square's got a very good shot in this race. And he's going to lay off the pace, of course. He can't go with the front end, and he's not a dead closer, but he has a great closing number. So he's absolutely a player for me. Owen Almighty is number 4. I loved him and really went with him hard, hard as I can anyway, in his last race at Tampa, the Tampa Bay Derby. But he was really the only controlling speed in that race. So as much as Chancellor McPatrick got a lot of the talk and everything else, and he's a really good horse, and you've got Chad Brown with him, and we'll talk about him soon. The race set up for Owen Almighty quite a bit, but he still had to go out there and do it, and he still ran a solid number over there. I like this horse a lot. There's distance questions with everybody else, but the way he's running, they got to prove to me that he can't go this far, although a lot of pundits think that he can't go much farther than the mile 16th. But we'll see. He's got a great stalking position. He doesn't have to be on the front, and he's really been running good numbers this year. So I think he's a horse that you've got to keep in there, and he's one of the top ones. The next one's East Avenue. East Avenue had that one good run, but to me it was at Keeneland, speed favoring course, speed favoring day, and he did run very well that day. But since then, not much, and that was the only number that he ever, to me, and now that he's got 4, that he ever ran fast. I know he's a fast horse, but he's got to prove it to me. Blinkers, I believe, are going on. Yep, they're going on for him. So he's got a good chance to pop that gate. So if he actually gets out this time, I think, and this is just my opinion, I don't know any side information, I think they're going to go hard with him to the front, and then I think River Thames and Owen Almighty will sit behind him. But to me, East Avenue's got to prove it to me. I'm not going to use them at all if I do horizontals. Chancellor McPatrick is number 6. Chad Brown, as you can see down here with Flavien Prat, they have a very good chance with this horse. He ran good numbers last year. He was very competitive. Last race, it was a good race. He was just wired. It was slow fractions at Tampa, and he was actually out quicker than normal. So, I think he's a damn good horse, but we've got to see exactly what he's got. But I think the race sets up for him pretty nice. Pretty nice. With those connections, and with Flavien Prat, one of the top jockeys out there, I think you need to really keep an eye on him, especially if there's a fast pace. He's going to get a chance to run. Now, again, Keeneland normally is a speed favoring track, but if the top 3 speed horses get out there in a 7-horse field and knock it pretty hard, it's going to set up Chancellor McPatrick and or Burnham Square the way it looks to me. We're not at predictions yet, so maybe I jumped that a little bit, but I love the way he looks. I love his numbers, and he did improve in his only race on his numbers from last year. So he's got a base. Admiral Dennis, that we'll be real quick with him. Anytime you have anything with Brad Cox, you've got to look at it seriously. But to me, Admiral Dennis has not come close to even running any kind of numbers that'll compete with the top horses in this race. And we've got 7 in this field, and out of the 7, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 7, so 50% of them that I think have a great chance to win. So let's get to my prediction. I firmly believe that they're going to try to get East Avenue out. So the 2 different ways I'm looking at this race. If East Avenue gets out and is going as fast as he can to try to get that lead and get that rail and hope the Keeneland magic comes back, then River Thames and Owen Almighty are going to have to stay close and really pressure him. And I think that sets it up for Burnham Square and Chancellor McPatrick. So I think that's how the race is going to fall out. I'll use both. For some reason, I've got this feeling that Burnham Square is going to come back and run a very big race. Doesn't mean if I'm going with horizontals. If I'm in horizontals, I'm going to be honest with you. I am going to absolutely use Burnham Square and Chancellor McPatrick, River Thames, and Owen Almighty. So if you're looking for me to separate out and give you that one hard horse, I would love to, but it just depends on how the race sifts out. To me, though, I'm going to stay with Burnham Square. I'm going to use him, of course, in exactas and in horizontals. But again, in horizontals, I'm going to use those 4 horses. I'd love to single, and I'll see how the day is going. I would not be surprised if it's a pretty decent exacta with Burnham Square and Chancellor McPatrick. And that is with me not dropping River Thames at all. I think that horse is fast. It's going to be a good one. And Owen Almighty's pretty damn good too. So I'm just here giving you my analysis. That is the way I see the race. I hope that you did good over the weekend. We're going to find out after this race who did make the Derby, and we'll move on from there. We'll have some more racing topics come up. I'm just kind of starting this thing. I do have cancer I've been battling with for years, with leukemia and MDS. So there's some times where maybe I'm not as consistent where I'd like to be getting videos out, but I'll do the best I can. Enjoy Keeneland today on Monday, and I hope you enjoy the 2025 version in Lexington tomorrow. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.